Hi, I'm Johnny, and this is my friend Alicia. We're here to walk you through the helpful information you can find on oklahomadisasterlegalhelp.org. There are many insurance issues that can arise after a disaster. It's important for you to have homeowners insurance when a disaster hits. Insurance is a contract between the company and the insured person. The benefits that the insured has will depend on their insurance policy and the limits of their coverage. The insurance declarations page is generally the first place to start. It will show the type of policy, the policy limits, the deductibles, and any additional policy riders. Traditional homeowners and renters insurance policies specifically exclude coverage for flood-related damages. Flood-related damages is covered by specific flood insurance policies. After a disaster, it is important that the homeowner or renter report the damage to their insurance company as soon as possible.
You might wonder if you need to keep paying insurance premiums after disasters hit. Generally, you must continue to pay your policy premiums, but there are circumstances under which some companies will grant extensions on payment deadlines. Beyond payments, you'll need to know what your insurance policy covers. The following things are generally covered by someone's homeowner's policy: the dwelling and any other structures on the property, personal property, additional living expenses, and comprehensive personal liability protection. Other miscellaneous associated coverages may also be included. It is important that the insured is familiar with his or her policy. It is very important that you call your insurance company, agent, or broker as soon as possible after a disaster and report your loss. It is a good idea to write down the date and names of anyone you speak to. Write down all claim numbers. Your vehicles will be a separate claim from your home and personal property. Provide your insurance company with your updated contact information, and check your phone and messages regularly, returning all missed calls in a timely fashion. Document all damages as thoroughly as possible, including taking several photos and documenting when, where the damage happened, including as many details as possible. Also, avoid disposing of any items until the insurance company has examined them. Doing so could jeopardize the settlement you receive. However, unless he has specifically examined the damaged items and told you what to do, you should not dispose of them. At some point, you'll need to provide a proof of loss. Upon receipt of the notice of loss, the insurer should advise the insured, that's you, as to what is necessary to constitute proof of loss. Your policy may specify a time frame in which the proof of loss must be submitted back to the insurance company. This can vary from 6 months to 3 years, so be sure to read your policy or check with your agent or company to find what your specific policy provides. Be sure to document all damage. Take detailed photos of all the damage. If you must remove or replace any property for mitigation purposes, take photos before and after you make any changes to the damage. Keep all receipts of anything you buy to mitigate damages. Avoid disposing of any items until your insurance adjuster has had a chance to look at it.
So what are you required to do in making an insurance claim? An insured person has the burden of establishing any loss resulting from a peril that they are insured against. Most policies include the duty to mitigate damage. This means that as the insured, you have the duty of preventing further damage to your property after it has been affected by a covered loss. For example, covering broken windows after a hailstorm to avoid further water damage. For more information or a more detailed explanation of your duties as the insured, consult your insurance company, agent, or broker. Your policy will also outline your duties after a loss. When you first contact your insurance company, request that they send an adjuster to look at your property. If you are having problems getting an insurance adjuster to your home, contact your insurance company. Always try to resolve problems with your insurance company directly. And remember to be wary of scammers. If someone is claiming to be from the insurance department and asking for money now to speed up the claim process, that's likely a scam. You should be aware of anyone who claims that they are working on behalf of the government, the Oklahoma Insurance Department, or your insurance company and ask for money to help expedite your claim. Ask this person for their name and credentials and immediately report them to your insurance company or contact the Oklahoma Insurance Department. All people claiming to work for your insurance company should have a photo ID that identifies them as an employee of your insurance company.
Next, you'll need to prepare for your insurance adjuster to visit. Try to make a list of all the damaged and destroyed property. Take pictures, collect names, addresses, and phone numbers of witnesses. Obtain repair estimates. Keep a record of expenses, such as alternative housing, etc., and locate bills and receipts for lost items if possible. Make a list of when and where you purchase things, as well as brand names and model numbers. Be sure to mitigate damages to avoid further damage to your property. If your property is wet, attempt to get it dry to avoid mold damage. Document all damages with detailed photos before and after you complete any mitigating repairs. Most insurance companies will only pay for the reasonable cost of repair. If prices quoted for repairs appear inflated, get another estimate and obtain your insurance company's agreement before undertaking repairs. Be cautious if a contractor asks you to sign a document before giving you an estimate. The document may be a contract authorizing the contractor to do the work or an assignment of benefits form authorizing the contractor to obtain payment from your insurer. Remember that your claim will only be approved to the extent that it does not exceed your policy limit. If you undertake repairs at an inflated price, you may reach your maximum policy limit very quickly.
You'll need to know the difference between replacement cost and actual cash value. Replacement cost provides you with the dollar amount needed to go out and replace the damaged item with one of similar kind and quality without deducting for depreciation. The decrease in value due to age, obsolescence, wear and tear, etc. An insurer will generally not pay full replacement costs until a repair is completed or the item replaced. You will be allowed a limited time to complete repairs or replace property. Consult your policy or ask the adjuster how long you have. In some instances, companies will grant an extension. Actual cash value policies pay you the amount needed to replace the item minus depreciation. What if your insurance company has offered you significantly less than you believe you are owed or has denied your claim altogether? Any denial or limitation of your claim by the insurance company should be given to you in writing. If you do not receive this in writing, you should demand it and request specific reasons for the denial. An attorney should review these reasons. Ask for any documents or reports prepared by the insurance company that factored into their decision. Most policies require that you sue the insurance company within 1 year from the date of occurrence of the damage. However, be sure to check this specific statute of limitation. Also, when you and the company do not agree on the scope of the loss, most policies contain an appraisal or arbitration option that you may choose to invoke. Consult your policy to see which option is available to you and what your obligations are. You also have the option of filing a written complaint with the Oklahoma Insurance Department or consulting an attorney if you have more questions.
If your insurance policy isn't going to cover all of your losses, it is possible that you are eligible for assistance from FEMA. You'll want to check out the information here about applying for FEMA assistance. Trees are another common issue in communities impacted by disaster. Often, people want to know who pays for removal of fallen trees and how neighbors should handle trees across property lines. The general rule is that the tree must cause damage to your home or property before the insurance company will pay for cleaning or removal. If it is physically on your house, the insurance company should pay for its removal. Regarding your neighbor's trees, unless you can prove that your neighbor was negligent in some way, The neighbor's policy covers his or her house, and your policy covers your house, irrespective of where the fallen tree originated from. The general rule is that a person is not liable for injuries or damage caused by a disaster or an act of God where there is no fault or negligence. And here are a few tips for renters and condo owners related to insurance coverage. If you have a renter's insurance policy that you think may cover your damage, call your agent, insurance company, or broker as soon as possible to report your loss. Condominium owners should check for coverage for damage under both the association policy and your individual coverage under your homeowner's insurance policy.
Now, let's talk about what happens if your car was damaged during a storm. If your car was submerged in water to the point that rising water has reached over the floorboard, entered the passenger compartment, and caused damage to any electrical, computerized, or mechanical components, call your insurance company and have it checked out by a car dealer or repair shop. Sometimes car dealers try to sell cars that have been damaged after a flood. If you're buying a used vehicle, inspect it carefully. Look at hidden parts or crevices to check for mud or silt, which indicates water damage. Many vehicles that have been completely submerged by floodwaters have been deemed as totaled by the insurance companies. You should obtain a vehicle history report when searching for another vehicle. Before you buy a used car, get the vehicle identification number, or VIN, to do a title search for the current owner's name and address, purchase date, purchase price, sales tax, if owner is a car dealer, and odometer reading. The National Insurance Crime Bureau, NICB, has a database for salvaged vehicles you can check online if you have the VIN. Just visit www.nicb.org. Another common question about vehicle damage is, does the damage your car received in the disaster get covered under your auto insurance or my homeowner's insurance? It depends on your policy. Consult with your insurer to see what is covered under your existing comprehensive policy. Damage to your car will not be covered by your auto insurance if you only have liability coverage on it.
Health insurance policies are also impacted by disasters. If you evacuated or are displaced and now have no means of paying for your prescription medications, you have options. You should contact your doctor to see if they can give you some samples of your medication. Try visiting a free medical clinic as well. Some pharmaceutical companies have pharmaceutical assistance programs to help people with their medication. You should visit the links we've provided here to determine if your prescriptions companies provide an assistance program. If you have a Medicare plan, you should read Medicare April 2015 publication, Getting Medical Care and Prescription Drugs in a Disaster or Emergency Area, which can be retrieved at the resource links here on our website. Are there exceptions to the HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, requirements in the event of a disaster?
And lastly, there are even exceptions to the HIPAA rule against disclosures during times of disasters. They are treatment exception. Treatment, payment, or healthcare operations to the individual or the individual's personal representative for notification of or to the person involved in an individual's healthcare or payment for healthcare, for disaster relief, or for facility directories pursuant to an authorization. Notification exception. There are also exceptions to the HIPAA rule against disclosures for notification purposes. A covered entity also may rely on an individual's informal permission to disclose to the individual's family, relatives, or friends, or to other persons whom the individual identifies, protected health information directly relevant to that person's involvement in the individual's care or payment for care. This provision, for example, allows a pharmacist to dispense filled prescriptions to a person acting on behalf of the patient. Similarly, A covered entity may rely on an individual's informal permission to use or disclose protected health information for the purpose of notifying, including identifying or locating, family members, personal representatives, or others responsible for the individual's care of the individual's location, general condition, or death. In addition, protected health information may be disclosed for notification purposes to public or private entities authorized by law or charter to assist in disaster relief efforts.
Serious threats to health or safety exception. Providers can share patient information in order to prevent or lessen a serious and imminent threat to the health and safety of a person or the public, when such disclosure is made to someone they believe can prevent or lessen the threat. Facility directory exception. Healthcare facilities keep patient directories. If a patient gives informal consent, the facility can tell those who ask if the patient is at the facility's location, and the patient's condition.